Hello, everyone. Welcome to DrTovesCorner. Welcome to another session of Scatteryan. To Scatteryan is to talk about anything, any topic, and to articulate all the numerous thoughts that comes into your mind on that particular topic. I'm your guy, Toves, and I've got a few of my camaraderies with me. Before we start the episode, I want to say respect to everyone that are streaming our content across all platforms. Those that are streaming on YouTube, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, Boomplay, and all the other ones that I can't remember. These are etc. Just want to say really appreciate it. Please keep liking the content, keep subscribing, and if you've not subscribed yet, or you're thinking about it, just do it. It's free. Subscribe, follow us, and one more thing, give us your opinion or your own point of view on the topics that we're discussing. We're going to really appreciate it. You can do that in the comment section below, or you can send an email or send a DM on our socials. We'll leave all of that information in the description below. Joining me to Scatteryan on today's topic are my guys. Some are making debuts and some are familiar faces or familiar voices you've heard before. So in no particular order, please welcome back to the corner. Stan, how are you doing, Stan?
I'm doing well. Again, as always, I do appreciate the opportunity to be
Thank you very much for making time for us. And also welcome back, Mr. Pizzolini Nelson. How are you doing, sir?
Good to have you.
It's always great to have you as well. Thank you for coming. And Mr. Riz the Good, how are you doing, Riz? How are you doing, sir?
Hey, Dr. Toves, I'm doing all right. How's it going?
I'm doing well as well. Thank you for coming. Thank you for making time for us. And joining us for the first time, making the first appearance is Mr. Wang. How are you doing, Wang?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Toves. I thank you for the opportunity to be on this podcast. I really appreciate it. My debut. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for giving us your time on this lovely day. Well, today we are going to be scatteryanning about what men want from women. And for this conversation, I'm going to take away the physical appearance and looks. Reason being, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What I think is my beauty standard might be different from what Nelson or Arinze or Wang and Stan thinks. So we're just going to put that one to the side. And the reason why I'm having this conversation is because online you hear a lot of female influencers talking about all the standards that men have to meet in order to be able to date them, but you don't have so much content that gives a context of what men appreciate from women. There was a video that went around on Valentine's Day. I think someone on this panel brought it to my attention that they asked females, what do they think men want, either BBL or natural? And all the women went for BBLs. That's what men want. And then they asked the men, which do you prefer in a woman? Is it BBL or natural? And all the men went for natural. So what are some of the qualities that men find attractive in women apart from their physical appearance? Okay. I'm going to start with Wang on this one.
Personally, I'll start with a vague word, but then I will now deep dive into it to explain what it will mean. Typically, it's understanding, right? And vulnerability. Now, I'm talking about guys who also have the capabilities of being vulnerable, because if a guy thinks he's not meant to be vulnerable, then he can't be looking at that in a woman. But for me personally, because life is full of ups and downs, right? And I think some of the things that men fear is to be able to have a woman where, and I'll use examples. There's a girl I was trying to check, and I just had this fear in telling her that sometimes the money was not enough. And I have, but in that moment, when I was we went on a date, I was trying to pay. The money was even there, but she just had to pay for me first. I had to be asking her to send the account number back all the time because she just had this aura about her. She won't look at you the same if she had to pay. Now, but that's the truth. And I use myself, for instance. I want somebody that can understand. So my current girlfriend now, who we're looking forward to marry, the first time I was trying to drop her at home, and just close to her house, my car stopped. And her place gets flooded a bit. My head was through all circles. She just told me, no, don't worry, it's all right. It's all right. It happens to people. And then she came down from the car. The lower part of her trouser got wet. But she stood there with me in the water. And I was just trying to tell her, like, can you just go? But just the fact that she was like, no, you don't need to feel embarrassed about it. It happens. It's a car. It could get bad. And then I'm like, okay, there's something here, because then that now made me calm. I wasn't under pressure to be like super macho. And I'm like, man. And I had to explain what happened to the car. I was like, oh, so what's going to happen? I'm like, you know what? If we just relax for 5 minutes, if I kick this car, I think it will start. But once it starts, you'll be going, I'll turn around, I'll be going. And we laughed about it. And the next day, she didn't start looking at me. I was like, okay, no, you don't know the paths to your life because... So that understanding is I want to be vulnerable. And sometimes I can look at her and say, babe, man, the money wasn't there. I had to loan this money to be able to do this thing. It's okay. Do you have a plan to pay it back? I think on the other side is just somebody that has a vision and they can join the vision. But I need you to be able to understand that sometimes I'm not perfect, right? To be honest with you. And many a times for guys, it's financially. Like, I'm not perfect financially, man. There are some things that I'm still trying to model up.
Yeah.
But if I cannot date you and be... It's not even that I don't want to buy you anything. It's that there are some things I can't even buy for myself that I have to let you know that these are the issues now. I'm a type of person that I know how to share vision. So anytime I have that type of conversation, I follow it with what I'm doing to be able to get out of it. So maybe that part of me being a guy helps the woman to be able to understand better. Because as a guy, it's one thing to ask for understanding and it's one thing to be clear enough person that could be understood. Because you can just sit there and say, oh, I want to just tell her she should understand. But no, am I giving her the tools to make her understand where I am and things like that? Things are a lot better now, but just that particular part made me... And then vulnerability too, because sometimes there was one time I was at work, man, and he was trying to get some things. And I just called her. I was like, babes, is every single time in my life, I have to work for every single thing I get, which is not a bad thing. But sometimes I just want that unprecedented favor. I'm a pastor, I see it sometimes. And she's like, oh no, you know what, you're doing great at this point in time. We just had a talk and then I felt pumped up after that. That's the vulnerability too, guys. I want to be able to call you and be honest with what is going on.
Without being judged.
Without being...
Not just even that, but fear of it being used against you later on.
Exactly. Like I that thing of, oh, men shouldn't be weak. I don't think there's any man that just wants to look weak from the onset or just feel like he's weak. But you know what weak is when I am vulnerable with somebody that now thinks that vulnerability is weakness.
Yeah.
And it's not every day.
Right.
It's not... I will have those days. And if I don't have a woman that I can share those days with, that after hiding to the whole world that I'm Superman, I have to hide to you that I'm Superman too, I will crumble. When I come back, I'm like, babe, man, jeez. And my own is actually peculiar because, like I said, I'm a pastor. So in church, they're seeing me disseminating power like this guy. And when I just come home, I'm like, babes, man, my God, I couldn't pray yesterday, man.
Yeah.
I want to be able to tell her that. I want to be able to come. Because to be honest with you, when I even see men that make their home toxic, I don't know what they're trying to achieve. I want my house to be a place where I can release everything. And sometimes, to be honest with you, there are actually some women that don't even want that. They believe that men role should be this. You have to even look super to me. And I'm like, why am I going to marry you if all I want to do is to not be super with you? I want to be super to the world, but together we can go and conquer the world. And when I come back, man, because if you use the story of Superman, it's Lois Lane that always saw Superman when he was without the suit.
Yeah.
And that was the one that he liked. That's the one that he loved.
Exactly.
The whole city loved him when he's escaped.
Yeah.
Yes, it's great because that's when he's at all of his strength. But it's Lois Lane that if kryptonite makes him soft or weak, she's there to take him to the hospital as a human being. What I believe most guys that are openly minded like we are, I know some guys that want to keep traditionalism believe that there's no woman that can ever understand your vulnerability, then that whatever it is they get all
One guy, I have some pushback on that. Toves, do you mind?
No, go ahead. I
think that vulnerability, we have to define what it is we're talking about. I understand what you're saying and I'm with you. But I also think, number one, like you said, is how often, in my opinion, and what it is about you're being vulnerable.
Okay,
because let me just land this point. Because at the end of the day, women, as much as they don't like to admit it, women like their men being better than them. Or at least presenting that you're better than them. Because even if it is a feminist, they can present that I don't need no man, I'm strong, I'm this, and they know themselves, they know their limits. And they like someone to look up. Now, if they feel or they sense their partner is just as weak as they are, respect usually tends to leave the window. Usually.
Oh,
now, what I mean by that is, what are you being vulnerable about? Like I said, I don't think a woman ever wants to see her husband cry. Or partner cry. If you're mourning someone, that's different because you're not wood. If you're mourning someone, that's different. But like you're talking about venting to the point of crying, also it depends on what it is, like we're talking about. I'm talking about how a woman will vent to you and she will cry. Like normal. It's normal if a girl vents to you and she cries, it's normal. If you match that same energy, I don't think that.
Let me ask this though. What is so wrong with crying that everyone associates crying with
Being
primarily weakness? What is wrong about it?
Crying.
Now, before you answer, I don't see anything wrong with it. When I was little, there's something that my mom said to me that I've always held strong. When I cry about something when I was little, she would say, "Oh, it's okay to cry. You're just washing the insides of your eyes." And I held on to that for a very long time. But in today's society right now, it's, oh, you see a man cry, it's weakness. I don't understand it. And just talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old that I don't understand. What is wrong about it?
It's a primal thing. It's a primal thing. That's the simplest thing I can give you. It's a primal thing because every time you see someone crying, that's the most vulnerable, weak the person presents as. I know, Stanley, if I see you cry, I know you're not weak. But that's because I already know you. But there's something primal about seeing someone cry. It damn near the person's reduced to a baby, damn near. A woman wants to look up to you. You're supposed to be a provider, protector, wants to believe at least. Even though they might not say because women are proud, but she wants to look up to you. That like, what are we doing?
Right.
Do you understand what I mean?
All right, let me help you answer that. So in all of this that I said,
she still wants to
I
know.
mean, even me myself. You look at me. I'm like the guy that I'm the definition of wanting to show like I can do it. That's me. So my own explanation is that on the days when I'm alone in my heart, which those days are twice a year max, or you get. And there's one thing my girlfriend who says about me. She says I'm very daring, right? Because right now, as I'm talking to you now, like last 2 weeks or last week, I'm like, I don't like my car again. I'm selling it. I'm buying another car. I just did. And she's like, oh no, babe, don't you think? I'm like, babe, we're buying another car. Back. So I agree with you that obviously, and there's no, because naturally we believe that women should submit to men regardless of, but you have to present something for her to submit to, which is vision, which is
for sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Wang. I'm going to just pause that conversation for now because I would like us to go back to the original question and hear Stan's and Nelson's point of view on beyond physical attraction. What do men look for, or what do men expect?
Are you talking to me?
You can go for that. Basically, you can go. What do men find attractive?
I think the most attractive trait a woman can have is kindness. Besides understanding, it's kindness. Kindness, what I mean by that is, at the end of the day, the man is going to be the hunter-gatherer. Right? If we're talking about a traditional relationship, the man is going to be the hunter-gatherer.
Talk about
in a modern relationship. What I mean by that is, the man is the one that's going to be the caretaker of the house. He's going to be the rock of his family. Everyone is going to bring their problems to him. It could be if you have kids. It could be that whatever happened at school today. Everyone, the kids, whatever problem they have is their world. So a woman, whatever problem or whatever emotion she's feeling at that moment is her world. You have to be the rock. Now, on the flip side, your woman has to be like the polar opposite of what you are to other people. She has to be a bit of kindness because at the end of the day, she has to be the one to nurture or raise extended family. Your family and every other branch that springs out of her, out of you. So she has to be a kind person. Not in Momo, there's a difference. Kind person in the sense, what does kindness look like? Someone, when other people, the way other people bring their problems to you, you can bring your problems to her. And she can be, even if not a solution provider or not like she's smarter than you in some, but in the terms that Wang said, is another way of what Wang said. You have to, she has to be very understanding, and not just understanding, but also
contribute ideas, like a listening ear.
Contribute ideas, yes, you get what I'm saying. That's what I think, at least from my own perspective, it goes a very long way. A woman being kind.
Right.
That's what is kindness and understanding. I'll tie those two together. Yeah.
Okay, Nelson. Men.
First off, I want you to know that we're humans, so everybody has unique wants and unique needs. So it's very vague to ask what a man wants in a woman because
not a man.
my own opinion,
Yeah.
So what men wants in women.
Yes.
So in my own opinion,
let me give you a context before you dismiss the question. The context is as a
I'm not
man.
dismissing the question.
Okay.
I get it. What my answer is the same. What I'm trying to say is the answer is very relative.
Yes,
So
and
as
the
a
reason why,
person,
so that's why you've now, let me give you the context. The reason I'm giving you the context is men talk to men more, as one tried to allude earlier, when they have problem, they talk to men. So you, in your discussions with men throughout your life, I'm sure you'll be collecting data about what men want. Yes, it's relative individually. So if you are to aggregate all the points that you have gathered so far, or what do men find attractive in women apart from looks?
so I would say 10 different individuals want 10 different things.
Yes.
Me, myself now, I might want respect.
Mhm.
But that might not be what I need from her, but that's what I want. But what you want might be the things you lack in yourself as a person. You want her to complement those things.
Mm.
So as a person, you might be, like you already said, you might be the rock, you might be the hunter for the family, and you just need a soft spot, somewhere to go to when you want to be vulnerable. Or you don't necessarily have to be the hunter as a man, because we have the perception that, okay, as a man, you must be hard, you must not be vulnerable, all that things. It's not compulsory that you are any of this. I mean, people come to this world as a soft boy, and you need a support system that can tell you where you are being too nice, tell you where you are being too soft. You understand? And there are homes where you see the mom is the stricter version than the dad. It's the mom that handles the discipline and whatnot. And the dad is just the calmer person. He doesn't do much of the talking. He just pays money. So in different situations, different strokes, different folks. So for me as a person, as an African man, I would say really, I want respect, and I want somebody I can see as my helpmate.
Right.
I want respect.
I would just like to just expound really. What do you mean build a home? Someone that can build a home. What do you mean by that?
So it's expected that you as the man, you build the house. That's the four walls, the actual window, the doors, you build the house. Then you bring somebody into your life that turns it into a home. Do you understand what I'm saying, Ron?
Yep.
No, explain to me like
physical.
Explain to me like I'm
House
like,
is physical. Home is an energy.
You see how they say the church is not the building but the people.
I don't see it. No.
Okay, you never heard it before.
No, I'm joking. I just want you to just explain.
Yeah, it's not the building.
Explaining your metaphor with more metaphors. So I just want it more simplistic. Yeah, but yeah. So what do you like? What do men find attractive in women beyond?
I think if I've listened to everyone's point of view, and I think we're all saying, or so far we said the same thing: a supportive partner, to say someone that can actually support them in everything, goals or whatever. I can't necessarily say what a lot of people or what men will actually want in a woman, but I can say for a fact that 1, support; 2, a woman who's decisive; 3, someone they can actually, again, build a home with, primarily build a family. And if I'm being cliche, when it comes to our Christian brothers, someone who's godly, right? Now, there's one thing I always say when it comes to, what are we looking for in a woman, blah, blah, blah.
What do we find?
I always
the
tell this
thing is,
question.
what do we find attractive apart from looks? So I'm not saying what you want, because
Right.
as Nelson tried to say, it's all.
Okay, what do we find
Yes.
attractive? Okay, so the one thing that comes to my mind all the time when I hear that question is, do we want to be right or do we want to keep the peace? I think understanding when we want to keep the peace and make a point are two different things. Yes, if there's a conflict, yes, it has to be fixed. It cannot just go on because it's going to grow and whatever. But there are times that this is the right time to actually have those conversations and then fix the issue. At that moment, it could be calling for peace. At the other moment, it could be calling, I want to be right. So I think primarily I would say coming down, if I have to summarize, supportive, decisive, understanding, and there's trust.
Right.
That's my summary on that.
Before I move the conversation on, when Arinze was asking this question to Wang, he said women always want people to look up to. Is that definite or is that an assumption?
It's for sure.
Okay, you need to give me more.
And if you can't provide, sorry, there was a lag in what you were saying.
If you say it's sure, can you give some examples of when you've seen women want people to look up to, because from my own experience and the women I know, they don't want to look up to anybody.
But here's the thing. That's in my own opinion and my own observation. Any woman that you see, okay, initially, let's build this. On a base level, women are proud. On a base level, women are proud. They have more pride than men. Because, I don't know, maybe it's due to societal raising of how, from when they were like little girls, they're being told they can do no wrong, you're beautiful, you're perfect. So having in they're like, if I'm wrong, this is the world that's wrong. Because I can't be, I'm either misunderstood or you guys are wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, going forward with that knowledge, it gets very confusing for them. And I think this is one of the reasons why you can't find a woman or her wife that is happy in a relationship. You can find a woman that's content. But happiness comes and goes for women. The reason, because I think women they want to lead, but they know instinctively there's a feeling they have for needing men. And it irks them. That feeling irks them, how much they know they need men. This is my own observation. And every woman that you see that is playing a role, like, let me give you, for example, in our African homes, if you grew up in a family where your dad was less feared than your mom, chances are, this is me just guessing, chances are your mom didn't get that from your dad, so she decided to do it herself. So you have a rebuttal for that.
Yeah. Because sometimes it's not necessarily what you get from the relationship. Sometimes it's your background. Some women didn't have father figures in their lives.
Yes.
So it gave them the responsibility to be the dads of themselves.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That accounts to.
Yeah, so you see them grow up in that light, and when they eventually get a partner, they get a partner that is more subtle than they are. The way magnets are, like poles don't match. That's why it's very relative for you to just come. This is what men want. This is what women want. This is what a certain type of men wants, and this is what a certain type of women wants. Mm-hmm. As an African man, I'm not saying this is what I want as a person, but I'm saying, Gera, as an African man, we want a woman that just respects us, knows when to shut up, and is as inner beauty. What's inner beauty? All of these that you are saying, understanding,
yes.
Kindness. These are the things that we as Africans,
but not all African men.
Our environment grew up in.
Yeah, I get your point.
But the conversation keeps going away from what I intended.
Sorry.
Right? The question is, I know maybe I've said what men want once or twice, and that has changed the conversation. I didn't say I don't mean what men want. I say, what do they find attractive? Because what you want and what you find attractive is different. All right?
No, but
until you have a conversation or start dating them, you don't know if they have what you want yet. But something is attracting you to them. So
nothing attracts you more than the physical now. Let's be honest.
Not really.
Okay, if we're not talking physical, it has to be. Okay, it depends. Like Pizu said,
I find, and your question, you're absolutely right. What we find attractive, not just the physical. Like I said, understanding. Number two, you got to be decisive. I find that very attractive when a woman can actually.
I think asking a lot from a woman to be decisive.
A lot? Not really.
We're talking emotions are like this. You're asking a lot from a woman to be decisive.
But that's where I believe that sometimes we make a mistake. We think they're not, but they are. Because they know exactly what they want to do. I believe sometimes it's us men that, you know what, because we have so many burdens on us, we want to do this, we want to do that sometimes we forget that we have to be decisive on certain matters. But women are decisive.
So yeah, what I find attractive in a woman is, I think, two things: decency and what I like to call inner beauty. Inner beauty in the sense that, I expect a level of intelligence from this so-called person so that we can even communicate.
Decisive.
Yeah, we can communicate on the same level. I don't have to explain everything.
So like the voice problem. And quick question: where does emotional connection come into this? Like, how important is emotional connection as well? when you find when they're decent, when they're understanding, when they can be vulnerable, when you've concluded that they can support and have that trust, like how important is emotional connection as well. Because some people, that's the reason why I want to go take looks away. Some people are falling for the looks, and then 2-3 years later, they're divorced or they're breaking up because they find out that, okay, this person is not my person. So how important is emotional connection?
It is.
Yeah, go ahead.
Emotional connection is very deep.
Oh,
Stan, you're going? Okay, I was trying to go. I was like, it's very important because I don't like people that guilt trip people with emotions. I personally also don't like people that exhibit what I consider too much emotions. Now, I would explain it. Not sometimes, and I'll give an example. There was this girl I was talking to one time, and then we're going to church together. And then naturally, it's my light that is blinking like that. So we're going to church together. And then when we got to church, she actually left church earlier, went to see a friend. And then I was still in church. I had to take a class and I finished by 3. I had not eaten. And then here's how she calls me. She calls me, Joshua, why did you leave me in my friend's house hungry? I was already angry, right? Approach 0.
Hungry.
I'm like, I was like, what do you mean leaving? So what happened was that she had a friend in church. They left church around 12. How am I to know that between 12 and 3, your friend will not give you anything to eat in her house? I'm in church taking a class. I just finished. Me too, I'm hungry. They don't give food in the class. It's a sacrifice I'm doing. I now want to come and pick you. I now told her that the difference would have been, hi, Joshua, are you done? On your way, can you buy me food when you're coming? Dan, you left me hungry in my friend's house. And that's the emotion I'm talking about. The ability to understand that we perceive things different. Now, even if you think that I probably, in your words, abandoned you, which obviously was not the case, can you present it in a different way?
So emotionally intelligent.
Emotionally intelligent. Because because you guys have known me for years now, I guess sometimes my fuse is short. It's normally long, but the day my gasket will blow, we don't know. And it could be for the littlest of things. And that the ability to know on that, you can't just start like me and because I believe now that I hold human beings responsible as an adult now, whether man or woman, there are some things you should take. You can't sit down and be saying because a man has not bought you food, you won't eat at 3 o'clock. And so that, first and foremost, I will buy it for you if you're nice to us. Oh, okay, Joshua, I was already going to buy. But to now hold me responsible for having you to eat is a problem. So that ability to know when to balance. Obviously, normally now, that's not a problem. But I'm saying in that regard, think of me too. Because women always say, oh, we like men that are intentional. Think of us. You to think of me. And think of me to not accuse me. Just think of me to know that, okay, if I just ask this guy like any other adult will, he would do it. Rather than, so the word there, Dr. Toves, is don't accuse me when you want me to do something. That's the emotional intelligence. And it's something that women, you want to do something, you accuse me first. If you accuse me, I go to defensive mode. Rather than understand your point of view, because I'm already defending. Like that one, I always say, it taught me to say, oh, that's true, you're really hungry. I was defending the fact that I didn't leave her there, rather than actually being alive to the fact that she was hungry.
Right.
But this your hunger, the way you conveyed it was a bit different. So the emotional intelligence is very, and it will.
You were starving her, brother. You left her to die of starvation.
To die.
You did not care if she lived or died.
That's impossible. But the emotional intelligence will show a sense of humor in conversations that you guys have and some things like that. So me, that one, we're on the way. And when those things happen, I dropped off the rail because I'm like, you know what, and she's the type of person where if you guys have an argument, she can see. There are some people that can say a lot of things and apologize later. I don't take that.
No, I don't.
She went to this thing.
It's not.
She went to this thing, and that's why she goes for way. She was like, that's why I go for really way older guys. Their mama.
It's okay. You can go for them now.
You can. It's okay. As you just said it.
Just go for them
and
now.
because somebody said, "Oh, no, I was angry." That's why I said it. I say, "Yeah,
it doesn't work that way."
The type of things that you can say. So thank you very much.
It's not even just the things like I said. The things that were originally in your heart this whole time.
Exactly. She had already had that thing because she always had this idea that she wanted to date 40 something. I'm like,
your stories are too personal, so I'm going to move on. Stan, you found something else.
I think it's very important, but I also think that starts with communication and also
that's exactly what I was going to say. Communication.
Because Yeah, because if you don't have communication and you're not spending time together, you're not going to see certain things when you're in public, right? You could be super in love with that person or whatever, and you're not spending time together, getting to know each other. And then one day, maybe you go out and you spend time together, and just one singular act could break everything. For me, it's kindness. Way back a few years ago, dating someone, and we were about to step out, and while reversing, she hit the car. But it wasn't even like a hard hit to say. It was just a very breezy hit to say. And I said, oh no, let's leave a note there to say, hey, sorry we did this, just in case this is a number. And what I got was, oh, are you crazy? Do you think I'm going to do that? And then they come back and say, oh, you got to pay $1,000.
Right.
Blah, blah,
Sorry,
blah. So at first I didn't have a response.
Nelson got to bow. So I would say, first of all, thank you, Nelson, for showing up today, man.
So I have to rush to get somewhere before 6.
No,
All right,
respect. See you later, sir.
Right. And we can leave. And I said, there is no scratch there, but just in case there was a witness, and then this person comes back with a camera and says, oh, you did this to my car when something else, he may have gone somewhere and something else happened. That's you just clearing your name right
Even
there.
for your
That you actually left.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm not saying at that moment, I just said, oh, it's not this one or whatever, but that singular act right there made me understand that, okay, maybe she needs to work in kindness. Maybe she's kind, but she may just need to improve on it and not look like everyone's after you or everyone's out to get you. Because that's another thing. Because the moment you start thinking, oh, everything I do, whatever I do, everyone's out to get me, blah, 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 you're just self-sabotaging yourself in general. So you want to build that emotional connection. You got to be able to communicate whether it's comfortable or whether it's not, or whether there's an argument. There's always going to be argument. It doesn't mean that's the end of the relationship. So you have to have that. And at the same time, you have to be willing to spend that quality time together outside of your usual norm. If you guys are always in the house, go outside. You're always in that space. So you know everything within that space. You can only see one character within that space. But go outside. I'm not even saying you got to go out with friends, but just you guys in general, the both of you as a couple. Go outside and observe. It's not like you're watching for red flags. You're not. But I want to say the environment or whatever may be going on that day may make you see some things. Did I ever know we're going to hit a car? No. But I saw things, right? And I said, okay, now I understand this is how this person is. So how can I support? Right? Because that's another thing I wanted to say. When we see certain things in people, our first instincts once in a while is, oh, we got to flee. That's a bad character, blah, blah, blah. But do we actually sit down and say, okay, this is a person I want to be with. How can I support? How can I get her to a certain level or get him to a certain level that we can actually have a balance? Right. And I think that's what we're missing a lot. So right now, to take your words, Dr. Toves, right now in modern society, we don't have that patience to sit down and want to work things out or a flaw with our partners. We would rather just get up and be like, yep, nope, not for me. I'm gone kind of thing. Well, yeah, that's my little
problem. Thank you. Thank you
whatever.
for that. And I'm just going to ask a quick question for Arinze this time. Arinze, just picture a woman who listens actively, active listening, pays attention. She shares her feeling openly and she supports your dream, right? How does that affect your level of connection?
Oh, it's deep. Oh, it's deep because at the end of the day, I think a man wants to feel valued. A man wants to feel. It's almost like the same feelings women desire, a man desires in a woman, but just it might be in different levels. The ball is in your court to make her no regrets, in as much as she's not doing it for you, but she's still doing it for you. The ball is in your court to make her not regret being so great to you. Right. The pressure is on you now. So the connection obviously will be there. And I think one of the underestimated values that women bring to men is inspiration. Let me give you an example.
So just before you go ahead with that example, don't think it's pressure. There is no pressure as long as you're accepting
good pressure.
What she's giving.
It's good pressure. Let me explain what I mean by that. What I mean by good pressure. The inspiration a woman brings to a man will determine a lot of times, especially if we're talking about regular everyday men. We're not talking about high achiever men, regular everyday men, one of the reasons you will go as hard as you will go is what you're trying to do or how much you're trying to be of service to people that are under your care. Now, what do I mean by that? As a man, you might have a standard of, your standard might be Benz. That might be how you're programmed. That might be how you look at life. Another man's standard might be Camry. There's nothing wrong with it. If a man whose standard is Camry wants a woman whose standard is Benz, I'm not talking of literal Benz or literal Camry. I'm talking of like your outlook on life. We're talking about how experiences you give yourself, where you shop, how you eat. You understand? If a man whose standard is Camry meets a woman whose standard is Benz and he wants her, she could inspire him to want more in the sense of what he does, right, how much more money he tries to go out and get, how he improves physically, spiritually. You understand? So I think that's a very underrated look. Now, to bring it back to your question, when a woman provides all of this great inner beauty, inner qualities to you, it's always on a subscription base. Because you were nice,
subscription.
It's always on a subscription base because you have to keep showing her that yes, all these qualities, all these beautiful qualities that she's pouring into you, you're worth it. So if she's giving you all these beautiful qualities, you have to actively show her that you're deserving of that. Because let's be honest, not everyone is deserving of that grace. Not everyone is deserving of those beautiful qualities.
That's fair. So, fair enough. I just want to piggyback on that same question to everyone. Do you prefer a partner who supports your goals or the one who challenges you competitively? So, for example, imagine a woman who celebrates your achievements and encourages you. How does that resonate with you? Or do you want someone who, when you've achieved, is okay, you've done this one now, okay, what's the next target? Let's keep going. So, which do you prefer?
I don't think you can actually separate both of that, and you can disagree with me on that. And the reason I say that is because you support my goals. Obviously, you're definitely going to challenge me to go for something else or to keep working at it, right? If all you're saying is cheering me up, you can do it and all that, and there is no challenge, is that really support? I think it's how you view it. Because to me, the way I view it is, if you are supportive of my goals, naturally, you will challenge me to be better at what I'm doing. I think it just comes with it, except you're just pretending to really support my goals and really there's nothing there. That's how I see it. And you may see it differently, but I believe that they go hand in hand. If I'm going to support my woman's goal, I will challenge her. It would then, it's not like it's going to fall on me to go look for a challenge. But if I really truly support and love that person, somehow there's a default setting that comes into place where you start to go into, oh, she wants to do this. You start researching on things. You could literally be having a very mundane conversation and a word spark whatever goal she's working on. And all of a sudden you're like, can you tell me more about that? Because you're no longer thinking about just, it's her goal. Somehow it becomes both of your goals in a way, because now your goal is also to support her and challenge her, right? Again, it comes with your original question, the emotional connection. Because I feel like if there's no emotional connection in there, I can only come and be like, oh, you want to do that? Good luck to you. Just let me know when you need help.
You won't be as emotionally invested into your goals like that.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's just my opinion.
Same question to one.
All right. I think my answer is somewhere in the middle. So here's why it's somewhere in the middle. I would rather, let me not call it competition, because personally, whether male or female, I thrive in a place of healthy competition and not you did this and I can do better type competition. I would like it to be more of inspirational. So this is now me personally. I consider myself to be a very visionary person naturally, right? I have plans for my family, I am already naturally ambitious, right? Very. Now, obviously, I would like the one that can put some fire to it, because obviously some of it may be somebody that already understands, she's smart. She can help trim down some of them that look outside, that are probably outside the boundaries of what I can do. And then I also love the one who has her dreams herself and that wants to achieve it. So apart from supporting mine, I want you to give me the opportunity to support yours, which is, of course, so I inspire you and then you inspire me because I have all this knowledge about business and this and that. So I can help you work on yours as well as mine. So maybe except the word competition is what just threw me aback that I said it was in the middle. Probably inspiration. And I'll give an example. So my current girlfriend now, she's good at making smoothies and all of that. So she has a 9 to 5, but she had stopped that for a while, even though she had, what do you call it? She had 2 contracts with 2 supermarkets. So I ginger her again. I say, you know what? I'll give you some money, register the company again. What do you need to be? Lender. And then she's saying, okay, she may not have time from work. I'm like, what do you do on Saturday and Sundays? So you can do this, make it on Saturday and Sunday, take it to work, start selling it to the people. That's me supporting her. And at the end of the day, she said, oh, she wants to have like this big store that will have maybe like a beauty place down there and then the smoothie down there. I'm like, I love that. Love it, love it, love it. Now, but me, my own goal is to be like a $200 million guy, like $1 billion guy, right? So when I drop all those, oh, this is what I want to do to be able to get there, she also puts her input into that. So that's the middle ground. I said I'm there. So it's not now, oh, because Joshua is saying this now, I want to try and modify my own to look like that. No, it's even with her own, we are believing that it's going to be like a chain store. It's going to be big in itself. Do you get? So that's just, so it's, maybe the word is not competition, but it's just, flesh your dream, I'll flesh mine. It mustn't, where I'm running is another direction, where you're running is another direction. I'll help you flesh yours and you help me flesh mine. So that's why I said mine is in the middle. It's not, okay. So the funny thing about pushing somebody too much, sometimes again, when they are not ready, it can become repulsive, right? There was this girl, it's not like I was liking her before, but I could actually see her from the start. Like she had this, I'm pushing my guy too much to a repulsive level. Not because, I'll give you an example. She's very ambitious. Great. I loved it. She had a cooking this thing. She was teaching music. She could do, brilliant lady. But one day we now went to go and dance salsa. You know, I normally I dance kizomba, I dance salsa. So I was learning kizomba. But I was always going to the salsa class for more fun. I never really wanted to learn salsa. I just like sitting down there. It's always social dancing and fun. And then she's giving me the story of how she never had to go through any training for salsa. Just coming for this social dance that I made her to learn. And she wanted me to learn that same way. I'm like, I'm here for fun. I'm not, Kizomba, I was paying a class to learn it. Loved it. Salsa, so when we go and try this, she's tried to do the steps for me. And I just said, no, I want to sit down. Like, do you get? So she naturally had that attitude like, okay, I learned this way. You can do it. And it's coming from a good place, but I wasn't repulsive because I didn't even want to learn it. And you know that. So now imagine if you guys are together, it will translate to things like that sometimes when she's thinking that you are slow in what you want to do it this way. And I'm just like, can we take a deep breath?
Like you said, you want to balance. Their goal somehow becomes your goal. And your goal somehow becomes their goal, whether you like it or not. And it depends on how you guys actually talk about it. That's why I said, if you're really emotionally invested in that person you're together, you could be having a very random conversation, and whatever she has told you about something she wants to get done, you start getting ideas just by someone saying something totally random, because now it's ingrained in you that I want to be with this person and I will support that person however I can. We think we can support to a level where we know we've done it, but sometimes it's never really enough. And that's why we always evolve. And that's why we're learning. And that's why we want to listen to what you're saying. And we want them to listen to what we're saying. And then we talk it through. And if there's no talking, if there's no saying, if there's no open communication as to this is exactly what I want to get done, then there's no support system. It's not going to come forward. Now you're in a serious relationship because based on everything you said, I can tell you right now that if you start thinking about, you even made another example that you didn't know of, but if you start thinking about you want to move away from wherever you're at to a different country or state or whatever, your partner will be in that plan, because you're emotionally invested in it. You said you wanted to switch your car, and you literally, the first thing you did was to tell your current girlfriend about it. Normally, if you were with the other person who you were not emotionally invested in, what's her business? You go switch your car and that's about it. But you spoke to your partner because subconsciously you wanted some sort of input into that. Okay, maybe you do this. Okay, maybe you do that. Hence why I say, I don't think you can separate both. I think they go hand in hand. As long as you guys are communicating, you have an understanding, and there's a...
So that conversation just it's leading me to the final question I have for this episode, which is, Do you prioritize shared values and interests when considering a potential partner? I got that from basically Wang's example. So do you prioritize shared values and interests?
If my girl doesn't like Manchester United, she doesn't football, I'm not going to hold that against her. And I love watching football. I'm not going to hold that against her. Okay. No, but how different the differences and what are the things you differ on? For example, what is more important to you? For every individual knows the top 5 things are like non-negotiable. If you don't mess with these things, it's non-negotiable. I can't even be friends with you. So everyone has their own individual list of that. Now, if those 5, 10 things are like very close to our heart, if out of 10 of them, she's different on 7 of them, 6 of them, that's not the person for you. No matter how much more things you guys have shared interest. You understand? So your priority list, if it's top 5, top 10, guys zone is usually like 5. So there's not a lot that guys usually care about, if I've noticed. If you have out of 5 things, if you guys don't have shared value in like at least 3, 4 of them, don't waste your time. Just abort mission.
Right. So in a nutshell, very important.
Very important, yes. Very important.
Same question.
Oh, for me, it's everything. The reason why I use that for me is my context may be a bit different because of spirituality, but then obviously we have to share the value on the fact that and the trajectory I'm going spiritually, she has to share it. And that was one of the first things I also saw in my girlfriend, right? Because we go to the same church and there are just some things actually, I'm like, when we're coming to church sometimes, the way you want to hold hands, we can't really do it. Not because it's bad or anything, but by the time I get to the gate of the church, I already have people I can counsel just immediately. And sometimes I'll walk ahead of you and go, are you fine with that? She's like, yeah, sure. And she has kept up to that up until this point. And I like me, my life has been full of examples I've experienced. There was this girl that was atheist. Not necessarily atheist, but she didn't believe in God at all. And she loved me. Like she cooked for me. She used to drive to my house. Like if there was anything humanly possible to try and be in my life, and she was sweet. Then I just looked at her like, as much as how you're sweet, I really like everything. But you see that part? Because when I'm even trying to pray, she's like, she'll leave you to do your thing. You and your God. I was like, no, like this. So she's telling me, sometimes I didn't even go immediately no, because I thought she was really sweet. If she just wants to come and she was really sweet. But there are sometimes I'm trying to fast and she doesn't care about my fasting. She needs, you know what I'm talking about? She needs that. And I'm like, I'm fasting. It's not, she's not my religion. So she doesn't really care about my fasting. Her own is this. And so sometimes even with addressing our races on, she can even have, but there's one very.
That's what I said. Priority list. Number 1 is number 1.
Priority list.
Number 1 is number 1. Hey. So priority list. Number 5 is more negotiable than number 1.
Of course.
So in summary, very important.
Summary, too important.
To me, again, shared values and interest. Now, values, yes. Number 1, it has to be we share the same value in terms of so many things, principles and stuff like that. Interest, on the other hand, you could be doing something that I've never really known about. There is no way I'm going to have interest in it because I really don't know anything about. But I'm a firm believer that you can actually bring that person into your world. Let me give you an example. Let's assume, okay, for me, I enjoy working out 7 days a week. It's my thing. It's just fun for me, right? That's my interest. If I'm with someone and that's not their interest, it is up to me to either explain why I like doing this, because they could also come back and be like, you're always going to the gym. It's up to me to explain that to them and also try to bring them into that world if they want to be part of it. Now, if they say no, it's not a red flag. It's just not for them, right? If their interest is to say, go to the beach every Saturday or every weekend to say, right? And maybe that's not something I want to do. Maybe your Saturday, I just want to stay home. I will also be very honest and open with it. Okay. It's not like I don't want to go to the beach. First of all, I don't want to get tanned. Second of all, I don't want to walk on sand and rocks. And I can start listing so many things that I don't want to do on that. And it's going to look like I don't care about your interest. But in all honesty, I cannot promise you I'm always going to be there every weekend. I will make my time to be there when I can. And I will put that effort in it to be there. And so they can see that, yes, I want to be in your world, but I know I cannot do it to 100% as you're doing it. For example, let's take going to the park for a picnic. I have an issue with grass because the first thing that comes to my mind is a dog peed and pooed on here. Someone spat grass. And my mind begins to wander around all the germs and everything. And I cannot be still because there's one insect here and I start complaining. And because of that, I may ruin the mood. So at that moment, I'm going to be like, okay, if we want to go have lunch in the park, can we look for something that's got a bench that we can sit and eat? Because you spread something on the floor and be like, we're a picnic, whatever.
It's very uncomfortable.
And then again, I got a back issue, so I don't want to be on the floor and bending over, and then I stand up like a freaking old man being like,
picnics are overrated.
And then everything's cracking. So I believe values for sure, it has to be standard. You got to share it, but interest, I don't believe you have to have the same interest. I think you guys can, at some point, bring yourselves into each other's world with that interest, or you find a new interest both of you really adore and start doing that instead. So that's just my take on it.
So that's what we're going to pause the conversation for today. I'm going to say thank you, Stan, Arinze, and Wang for your time. It's lovely having you guys here. People, if you've enjoyed the conversation or you've disagreed with any points, please let us know in the comment section below. Or you can also let us know via email, which you can find in the description, as well as on our socials at DrTovesCorner on Instagram, Facebook, and X, and at It's DrTovesCorner on TikTok. Until the next episode, people, use your brain. SCFR.